Farmer Briggs was a man of routine. Every morning, he'd wake up with the sun, pull on his worn-out boots, and walk the perimeter of his sprawling farm, his loyal border collie, Rusty, trotting faithfully by his side. For 50 years, this ritual had been as predictable as the seasons. But one crisp autumn morning, something was different. Something was out of place. There, in the soft earth behind his barn, were footprints. They weren't his. They weren't from any farm animal he knew. They were small, almost delicate, and they led from the edge of the woods, straight towards his vegetable patch, and then vanished. Briggs scratched his graying beard, puzzled. Who would be wandering around his property? He checked the chicken coop, all the hens were safe. He checked the garden, a few carrots and a couple tomatoes were missing, but that could have been a rabbit. Still, the footprints nagged at him. Rusty, however, seemed unusually agitated. He whined softly, his nose twitching as he sniffed the strange tracks. He wasn't barking or growling like he would at a coyote or a fox. Instead, he seemed concerned. He looked up at Farmer Briggs, then back at the footprints and let out a soft yelp. "What is it, boy?" Briggs asked, patting the dog's head. "You know who this is?" Rusty just wagged his tail once, a gesture of uncertainty. The next morning, the footprints were back. This time, they went past the garden and towards the old apple orchard. Again, a few things were missing, a handful of late-season apples from a low-hanging branch. Farmer Briggs felt a growing unease. He decided he would stay up that night and see for himself who this mysterious visitor was. He sat by his kitchen window, a cup of lukewarm coffee in hand, with Rusty lying at his feet, his ears perked and alert. Hours crawled by. The moon cast long shadows across the fields. Just as Briggs was about to doze off, Rusty shot up. He didn't bark, but a low growl rumbled in his chest. Briggs peered out into the darkness. There, moving cautiously from the tree line, was a small figure. It was a child, a young boy, no older than 10, clutching a burlap sack. He moved with a practiced silence, quickly gathering fallen apples and a few remaining potatoes from the field. Farmer Briggs's heart softened. This wasn't a thief in the way he'd imagined. This was a child who looked thin and scared. Just as Briggs was about to open the door, the boy froze. He'd spotted Rusty, who had padded silently out the doggy door and was now standing a few feet away. The boy's eyes went wide with fear. But Rusty didn't bark. He simply sat down, wagged his tail slowly, and nudged one of the apples the boy had dropped with his nose, pushing it back towards him. Taking a deep breath, Briggs stepped outside. The boy flinched, ready to bolt. "It's all right, son," Briggs said, his voice gentle. "You don't have to be afraid." He introduced himself and his friendly dog, Rusty. The boy, whose name was Leo, eventually explained that his family had fallen on hard times, and he was just trying to find some extra food so his little sister wouldn't go to bed hungry. From that day on, Farmer Briggs made a new routine. Every evening, he'd leave a small basket of fresh vegetables, eggs, and fruit on the back porch. He never saw Leo take it, but every morning the basket was empty. Rusty seemed to understand too. He'd often sit by the basket, his tail wagging, as if standing guard over the gift until his new friend came to get it. Farmer Briggs had found his footprint maker, but instead of an intruder, he'd found a neighbor in need. All thanks to a wise old dog who knew the difference between a threat and a cry for help. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. See you next time.